Well, hello. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go in the kitchen. I've got some produce I'm going to be dehydrating, and I'm going to show you how I do them. So let's get into it. Alright, well, as you can see, I've already got a couple of trays of mushrooms laid out. And now I'm going to take these tomatoes. I'm going to use my mandolin. Now, if you happen to have one of these, be careful with it and always use your guard, or get yourself one of those, what are they called? One of those gloves with the wire mesh built in. Alright, I'm going to be using a thick slice because when you dehydrate these, they'll get even thinner. And we'll put a tray on there. And I always use my guard because I don't want to cut my hand. So let's get going on this, and I'll show you how thick the slices are that I'm doing. Let's see. That's about how thick I want the slices. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to use some of our trays here so we don't drip tomato juice on our mushrooms. Well, let's try another one here. Well, alright, so it's not working out that great. We'll have to cut that out. Let's see. There we go. And what I'll be using these for is soups and stews and things like that. I know, I just told you to use yourself a protective glove, and I'm not doing that. So let's space these out. Alright, well, didn't start out too good, but it's looking good now. Yep. And the firmer the tomato, the better. Well, let me get the rest of these sliced up, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, well, we got one full tray of tomatoes there. And what we did was on the stem ends, just take and kind of cut that out. Kind of like so. And then on the other ends, because we want this to dry pretty good, just take a little, all you have to do is take a little bit of the skin off, just to allow the fruit to dry a little easier. And then we'll show you how we do the cherry tomatoes. So we'll get to that in just a second. Alright, and for the cherry tomatoes, what we're going to do is we're just going to take those and just cut them in half like that, and then we'll lay those out around the tray. We'll lay them all out just like that. Now the tomatoes are going to take longer than the mushrooms. Mushrooms don't have a whole lot of moisture in them, so we will check these periodically. We'll be dehydrating these at, I believe it's 145. I'll have to look. And if we got some room after we do the tomatoes, I've got some bell peppers that I'm going to do up. So let me finish these cherry tomatoes and I'll get right back with you. Alright, I managed to get all the tomatoes on there. I've got one tray left for my dehydrator. And I don't like wasting space, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out some of my bell peppers. Actually, these are mini bell peppers. So we'll get a handful of those out. Let me get rid of this tray here. Go wash it up. Okay, I got these all washed up. Let me go ahead and just stick them up there temporarily. What we're going to do is we're just going to cut the end off like so. Then we'll cut her open. Remove any vein or seeds that are in it. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to slice them into little pieces like so. And then we'll arrange those on the tray here. No great particular order or rhyme or reason, just toss them up there and we'll straighten them out on the tray later. And these will be good for soups and stews and all those good things. And now if you're getting these from your garden, I would tell you to take those seeds and dry them out and save those for next year. But these are store-bought ones, and the only kind of seeds I like keeping are heirloom. So and when you're doing these, they always tell you not to have them touching. But you know what? If they're a little crowded, when you go in to check them the first or second time and they shrivel up a little bit, then you can separate them out again. And a little bit of a bad looking spot, so we'll take that out. But anyway, you can always separate them a little bit afterwards, and that'll take care of that problem. Alright, well, let me get these, I almost said potatoes. Let me get these peppers done, and we'll get right back to you. Alright, well, I was able to fit all but 2 of those bell peppers on there. I could have fit them on there, but, or at least one more. Anyway, now we're going to take the lid, and the dehydrator I have is Nesco, And I'm going to put this up to, let's see, where is it? You know, my eyesight here. Okay. I'm going to take this and move it all the way up to 160 for about an hour. That's about it. And then I'll come back in and I'll turn it back down to probably right around, 115, 1.5, somewhere in there. But to get it going first, we'll put it up all the way, and then we'll come back and turn it down. So we'll be catching you tomorrow when this is done and show you how it turns out. Real quick tip. If you're going to be doing mixed vegetables like I just put in the mushrooms and the tomatoes and the bell pepper, don't mix your onions or garlic with other fruits or vegetables, because they'll more than likely take on some of the flavor of that. Alright, well, it's the next day. I did come in here and do a couple of things last night and early this morning. Now the tomatoes, you can see, have shrunk up quite a bit. What I'm going to have to do is go through and peel them up. You see, I already started doing that. They're still a little tacky in a couple places, so we'll pull them up like this one here where the skin's all on there still. Pull these up, turn them over, let them go for a little longer. Now the cherry tomatoes, those are pretty much done. I've turned those all over and kind of moved them around. You can see how small they turned out to be. And I like taking my dehydrated vegetables and stuff until they're almost crisp where you can snap them. That way I know there's not a whole lot of moisture left in there. Now the bell peppers, those are completely done. You can see they kind of shrivel up to almost nothing. If you saw that tray last night, it was pretty full. Then the mushrooms, I took and condensed them down to one tray. They're completely done. And what we'll be doing is we'll just let these sit at room temperature for a couple of hours. And then, I wanted to leave that one on top of there. And then after they sit at room temperature for a couple of hours, I'll double check them, make sure they're done. And we'll take and we're going to put them in mason jars and vacuum seal them with oxygen absorbers. I'll be going over that with you in a little while. That'll be in the next video on my dehydrating. But in the meantime, I gotta let these tomatoes go a little bit longer. I'll take these trays off, but take these and kind of pull them up. See, most of them are done, but there are a few that are still a little tacky. But we'll pull those up, turn them over, and let them go for a little bit longer. And then let those sit at room temperature also. So, actually, let me see. I'll keep these ones off. I'll put these ones back on just for a little bit longer. Leave those on there. Now these things, I found the best way to do this is kind of bend your plastic tray, if you're using these plastic trays, and then it just kind of peels up. It feels almost like a fruit leather when you do that on the bottom side. But just kind of peel those up, turn them over, then let them go for a couple more hours. I won't bore you with me peeling all these up and turning them over, but see how some of them are a little tacky still. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll let these flip these all over, let them go for, like I said, a couple more hours. Please, if you got anything out of this, hit that subscribe button down below. Click that little bell icon so you get notifications. And please share our videos on your platform, whether it be Facebook or Pinterest, whatever. Anyway, have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Stay prepared.